は集まってくださいましてありがとうございます。今シーズンの成績は、無事というか一生懸命やった結果、3つの金メダルを取ることができて本当に嬉しく思っています。
Thank you so very much for coming today. As you know, the season has come to a conclusion, and I feel that it has ended in a very good way. I've been able to gain 3 gold medals during this season.
本当に今シーズンはいい成績で終えることができたんですけれども、まだ僕は19歳なので、これからも一生懸命スケートをしていって、来シーズンまたは4年後のピョンチャンオリンピックに向けてもまた精一杯精進していきたいなというふうに思っています。
Having said this, however, although I am satisfied with the results of this current season, I'm only 19 years old. I'm going to work very, very hard to be successful in the next season, and also I'm going to be aiming for good success at the next Winter Olympics, which will be held in Pyeongchang.
本当にここまで来るのにもたくさんの方々の応援だとか、サポート、本当にそういうものが大切だなというふうに思いましたし、またこうやって今ここに座っている間もたくさんの方々に見ていただき、また応援していただき、本当に感謝の気持ちをここで述べさせていただきたいなと思います。本当にありがとうございました。
But I would like to clarify that I've not been able to achieve my success on my own. I believe throughout my career I've learned how important it is to have the support and the cheers of the people who support me. Even as I sit here today, I see many people looking at me. I realize that many people are thinking positively of me, and as a result, I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest appreciation.
Thank you very much, and now I will open the floor to questions from the working press first. Okay, I see a few hands. Please, please come to the microphone and introduce yourself by name and affiliation, and please keep yourself to one question.
I'll ask in English. You've spoken about your experiences in the greatest Japan earthquake disaster, and many children and young people around the world are affected by natural disasters and by conflict and war. So what would be your message to those young people to encourage them to go for their dreams as you've done? Thank you.
震災についてだとかそういうことについて僕が語るのはちょっと難しいことはあるんですけれども、ただ僕は一スケーターとして一生懸命やりましたし、実際に今ここに首にかけている金メダルというものが何か希望であったり、または皆さんが応援してくださった象徴みたいな、何か一つのものを目指してみんなが向いていた象徴みたいなようなものになっていたら本当に嬉しいなというふうに思います。
So it's a very difficult question. I don't know if I am really the right person to answer such a difficult question in regard to people who have suffered from earthquakes and other disasters, other difficult situations. There was some difficulty in my trying to respond to your question. However, having said this, what I can say is that I, as an individual skater, have worked very, very hard to achieve a particular goal. This gold medal, which is hanging around my neck, I think is symbolic of perhaps hopes, or perhaps symbolic of all of the support that I mentioned earlier that have been given to me by so many people around me. So perhaps I could say that working toward achieving one thing, it could be a personal goal, or it could be something that all the people around you in a particular station are working to strive for. There was something worthy in that, and that there was something achievable in that.
また若い方々に対しては、僕もまだまだ若いですけれどもとにかく自分がやりたいことを一生懸命やる。でもそれを達成した時に自分だけが喜んでると思ったらそうではなくて、そこには絶対応援してくれる方々がたくさんいらっしゃいますし、そこにサポートしてくださる方がいるから自分たちは何かを成し遂げられるんだと思います。その成し遂げられたこと、または達成できたことっていうのが一人だけではなくて たくさんの方々と一緒に頑張った象徴または証みたいなものに気づけたらなというふうに思っているので、ぜひそういうものを感じていただけるようになったらなというふうに思っています。
If I were to add an extra comment to young people, I would like to say that, of course, I think it's very important to try to find something that you very much want to do, and then to give your all in trying to achieve success with that goal. Having said this, however, when one does achieve a certain amount of success, one must always stand back and think and realize that one did not do it all on one's own. In other words, there is always the support, the cheers of people around you. It is because of that support and those friendly and positive thinking thoughts around you that any person is able to achieve anything at all. In other words, when you are able to achieve something, attaining a goal, always take a moment to please look around. I would also like to preface all of this by saying that I feel a little funny giving advice to young people because I myself am still young. But I still feel that when one does achieve something, it is very important always to sort of look around and realize, again, how important it is to have this support and to make that achievement, that success, symbolic of all of the efforts and positive thoughts that were given to you over time.
ありがとうございます。ニコニコ動画の七尾と申します。ありがとうございます。本日は本当にありがとうございます。ユーザーの方からですね、質問を募集しまして、お願いします。羽生選手は世界選手権時のインタビューでですね、いろんな4回転に挑戦したいと、史上初になりたいという野望を抱いているとおっしゃったと思います。これ次回のですね、オリンピックに向けてチャレンジしたい4回転はどのようなものでしょうか。よろしくお願いします。
So I'm from Nico Nico Doga. We asked for questions from our different users, and one question that came up was that when you gave an interview after having won the World Championship, you had mentioned that you wanted to try to challenge yourself even further and try to attempt many different kinds of quadruple jumps. You wanted to do something that had never been done before in the world. Can you be more specific? What kind of quadruple jumps are you aiming to achieve?
ピョンチャンオリンピックに向けて、試合に組み込むというか、試合のプログラムの中で、4回転、新しい内容の4回転をやるとか、そういうことはまだ具体的には考えてないですけれども、ただ練習では、4回転ループというジャンプを決めることができましたし、今、ルッツジャンプにも取り組んでいます。また、将来的にはいろんなジャンプを取得できるように頑張りたいなと思ってますし、あとはもう本当に体力が続く限り、また怪我をしないように、それだけを注意して4年後を目指していきたいなというふうに思っています。
So, in regard to the Pyeongchang Olympics, I'm going to try to do many creative things in the programs that I will eventually skate then. In regard to what specific kinds of quadruple jumps I have in mind for those programs, we haven't really thought about that very concretely yet. However, during practice sessions, rehearsals, I've been able to successfully jump 4 quadruple loops. I've also been able to, I'm also working on quadruple lutz jumps as well. And in the future, I would like to try to be even more creative as possible. So as I look forward to the next Olympics, I'm going to work very, very hard to make sure that I don't lose my stamina, my endurance. I also want to make sure that I do not injure myself in any way.
Jim Armstrong with AP. Could you tell us what effect going overseas, moving to Toronto, had on you and your preparations for the Olympics, both as a skater and as a person?
僕が仙台にいた頃は練習環境があまり整ってなくて、1日に本当に45分だとか1時間も練習できないことがありました。
First of all, I would like to say that when I was living in Sendai, although I wanted to practice every day, it was very, very difficult for me to be able to find the facilities to be able to practice as much as I wanted to. Sometimes I would only be able to practice 45 minutes, maybe less than an hour a day.
なので、トロント といううちはものすごくスケートリンクがたくさんありますし、またはフィギュアスケート専用のリンクもあるので、練習環境としてはものすごくいいところに行けたなというふうに思っています。
So when I moved to Toronto, I was very, very pleased because there are so many ice skating rinks, and not only that, there are many ice skating rinks that are designated for use by figure skaters.
または素晴らしいコーチ、または素晴らしいスケーターも一緒に練習することができたので、このオリンピックの金メダルというものはトロントに行かなければ取れなかったものじゃないかなというふうに思っています。
I was also blessed with being able to work with a wonderful coach and also with very, very talented skaters. I was able to practice with them. So when I look at the gold medal here, I realized that I probably would not have been able to obtain this medal without having gone to Toronto.
ラインニュースの田野と申します。よろしくお願いします。お食事について伺いたいと思います。昨年から、味の素のチームのプレーヤーさんたちが、羽生さんのサポートに使われまして、それまで食が、あまり良くなかったというふうに伺っております。でどういったアドバイスを受けられて、それでどのようにフィジカルが変わっていったのか、また今日はたくさん海外のメディアもいらっしゃってますので、いろいろ点々で海外に行かれることも多いと思うんですが、この国のこの食べ物が好きだというのがあったら教えてください。
Online news, I'd like to ask about your diet, your eating habits. I've heard that recently some people from Ajinomoto, the food manufacturer, has joined your team, and they're offering you advice. And before that, your diet was perhaps not the most ideal one. Can you tell us what kind of advice they're giving you, what kind of foods you're careful to have or avoid? And since we do have the opportunity to have many different media from other countries here, could you tell us, when you travel abroad, what kinds of foods you like in different countries?
まだ僕自身あまり食事に興味がなくて、すみませんあまりご飯を多く食べれる方ではありません。
So now I myself am not particularly interested in food. I apologize for that, but I also don't have a very big appetite. I don't eat large meals.
ただ味の素さんに指導していただいて、胃の準備というか、なんですかね、食べる前に胃がびっくりしないように少しずつ汁物から入っていったりだとか温めたりだとか、そういうことを指導していただいたおかげで少しずつは食べれるようになりました。
But since the Ajinomoto people have joined my team, the kind of advice they have given me basically boils down to the fact that when you eat a meal, you don't want to surprise or shock your stomach. In other words, you don't want to just throw surprising foods at it. What you want to do is you want to start off with some kind of a liquid, like a soup, and then you want to start off with warm foods so that your stomach eventually can feel comfortable and accept more. As a result, I've been able to eat more than I wasn't able to in the past.
そうですね。あと違う国の食べ物ということなんですけれども、見ての通りあんまり食事を食べない人なんであんまり覚えてないんですけれども、ただ僕自身一回ロシアの方にソチではないんですけれども練習のために合宿させていただいたことがあって、その時に出してもらったボルシチだとか、またはつぼ焼きだとか、そういうものがすごく美味しかったなというイメージがあります。
So in regard to what I like in terms of foods in other nations, as you can see, I don't have much of an appetite. I'm very slender. I'm not therefore that preoccupied with food, and I don't really remember what I've eaten that much. However, there was a time when I went to Russia. It was not Sochi, but I went for some training, and we stayed for a few days. And I remember that there was wonderful borscht that was served, and also Mr. Hanyu describes this tsuboyaki, which is some kind of a soup, probably in a little pot, individual pots, which was very delicious.
あ
フリーランスのエッコプログラムです。羽生選手は試合直前に十字を切られますけれども、その意味と心境を教えていただけますか。
Before, I'm a freelancer. Before you start competing, you always basically make a sign of the cross. Can you tell us a little bit about the thinking you have for this?
いや僕自身は宗教の関係だとかそういうものは全然関係なくて十字でもないんですけど本当は十字じゃなくてどっちかというと長方形に近い形を描いています。というのも人間の体の、肩の位置だとか、股関節の位置っていうものをとにかく平らにして平行にしてっていうことを意識しています。またはその十字を切るとき、十字ではないんですけれども十字を切るときの縦のラインっていうのは僕の軸を表しています。軸をまっすぐ保つための意識っていうものを常に持つために毎回やっています。
I have no sort of religious feelings in making that gesture, and actually, it's not. I'm not making a sign of the cross. Actually, what I'm basically describing is a picture of a rectangle. In other words, I'm trying basically to make my body aware that it has to maintain a certain sort of position or attitude. In other words, I have to check the angle of my shoulders, of my joints, to make sure that everything is flat and in balance. Basically, when I do the vertical gesture, it's basically I'm checking my own basic body axis, would be a literal translation. In other words, I want to make sure that my center line, the central axis of my body is absolutely straight.
Per Bådner, Sweden, photographer for Politica. It seems that, first of all, congratulations to your medal. It feels that all the focus when it comes to figure skating here in Japan is on you now. How about your colleagues? Do you feel that they are left behind and you get all the attention? And also for promotion for practicing, you mentioned that you only had very few limited hours to practice here in Japan, and now it's better coming up. But how is the rest of the figure skaters in Japan doing in this high division, or what I should call it, the elite?
そうですね。すごい難しい質問です。ただフィギュアスケートっていうのは日本ではものすごく人気があります。ただ僕たちにとってはですけれども、たとえテレビにいっぱい映っていようが、たくさん写真を撮られていようが、やはり僕たちは一人のスケーターでありますし、やっぱり一スポーツ選手だなという感覚はあります。
It's a very difficult question. As you know, in Japan, figure skating is a very, very popular sport. But regardless of how often we might appear on television, regardless of how often people might take our photographs, in the final analysis, all of us are all individual skaters. We're all individual athletes.
なので特別僕が違うとか、例えば高橋大輔さんが違うとか、荒川静香さんが違う、そういうような感じは全然なくて、ただみんな一生懸命練習をしていて、みんな全然違う環境で練習をしている。本当にただそれだけかなというふうに思っています。
So, in regard to the fact that some of us may receive more attention, whether it's myself or Mr. Daisuke Takahashi or Ms. Shizuka Arakawa, we don't feel any different. We feel that we're all the same. We're all individual skaters working as hard as we can, practicing as hard as we can. Certainly, the environments in which we practice are all different, but we're all working in the same hard way.
Okay, I don't see hands up, so I will ask a question myself. You mentioned already your experience in Toronto. I would like to know what, how your training with Brian Orser has changed your style and also your thinking about figure skating.
僕自身のスケートのスタイルは変わってないと思います。ただ教え方というか教え方も多分変わってはいないと思うんですけれども、ただ試合直前の気持ちのコントロールの仕方とか、または練習中の本当に気持ちの面というものを非常にコントロールしてくれるなという感覚がすごくあります。
I believe that my skating style has not fundamentally changed, and I also, when I compare him with other coaches or other teachers that I've had in the past, I don't feel that the teaching style is fundamentally different. What I feel is different is that right before a tournament or before I have to go out and skate, or even during the practice sessions, I'm better able to control my feelings, my emotion as a result of his coaching.
No other questions? Maybe then a question of one of our associate members. Maybe have a question.
記者でない方から、もうご質問をお受けできます。
実はどうもしらと言います。おめでとうございます。4年後のまた金メダルを目指すということなんです。その時にライバルになりそうな人たち、アジアの選手が若い力伸びてるっていう報道なんかよく耳にするんですけど、羽生選手自身はどういうふうに感じてらっしゃいますか？ライバル。
So congratulations for your victory. I know that you're working to be successful in the Olympics 4 years from now. At that time, who do you think you will have as your rivals? Especially we hear many stories about young Asian skaters on the rise. Can you tell us a little bit about who you think your rivals might be?
ライバルっていうのは本当にその時にならないと分からないかなと思います。本当に僕なんかソチオリンピックの4年前っていうのはジュニアで初めて世界ジュニアっていう舞台で金メダルを取れた時でしたし、実際こうやって皆さんがそう思ってると思うんですけど、本当にシニアに上がってこんな簡単に通用すると思わなかったですし、こんなに簡単にもトントンといってしまうとは思わなかったと思うので、僕自身これからどんどん年を取っていくことによってジュニアの選手だとかそういう選手が上がってくる中、やはりライバルっていうのはどんどん変わってくると思います。もちろん体型の変化だとかそういうものも多分あると思うので、ただ最終的にはフィギュアスケートっていうのは対人競技ではなくて、どれだけ自分をコントロールして 100%、120% の演技をできるかどうかっていうところが一番大切なので、そういうところが一番のライバルじゃないかなと思います。
When we talk about potential rivals, you really don't know who the rivals might be until you're very, very close to the date. In other words, 4 years ago, before Sochi, I had just appeared on the world stage. I gained the gold medal in the World Junior Championships. But I'm sure all of you felt the same as I did, which was that I never expected to be so successful so early. I didn't expect things to go so well, so easily, and so quickly. In other words, I believe that 4 years from now, there will be more young athletes coming from the junior ranks, and I will also age in the intervening years, and probably my physique will change. But in the final analysis, I think when we look at figure skating, it's not a competition where you try to fight against another person or compete against another person. What you're trying to do is you're trying to control yourself as much as possible so that you can give 100%, 120% to express the ideas and the art thoughts that you have. So in this sense, my rival perhaps is myself.
Then, as I was told, we were told that you are a big fan. Some of our members looked around, and we hope that you haven't got this one. It seems to be a very special edition from the United States. Thank you very much. And of course, last but not least, least 1 year honorary membership of the Foreign Correspondence Club of Japan. Please, if you have time and you're training in Tokyo, please come and visit us and have coffee with us.